So glad to be here with you. Hello, I'm Alex Levin. I'm here today for our weekly Sunday meditation at 10 o'clock with Sun and Moon Yoga Studio. Join me each week here. And uh, what details did I forget? My name, where we are, we're on the YouTube channel. Please do let me know if you can't hear me. I'm not quite sure if my headsets are, my earpods are connected. So today is Valentine's Day in the USA. Um, I'm going to start with a poem that is one of my favorite sort of love poems. It's from a book I love of poetry of impermanence, mindfulness, and joy. And this is from the joy section. So just a few words, a few minutes of chat before we start a 12-minute silent meditation today. Mostly silent. I give you guidance, so you'll hear my words. While I speak a few minutes, you can ensure that your seat is comfortable. I'm sitting up on a folded blanket. You could choose to sit in a chair. You could even lie down, although that's a very different energy of meditating. So, this poem is by Ron Padgett. It's called Words from the Front. We don't look as young as we used to, except in the dim light, especially in the soft warmth of candlelight. When we say in all sincerity, "You're so cute, you're my cutie." Imagine two old people behaving like this. It's enough to make you happy. Such a warm feeling, such a connecting feeling, such a feeling of commitment there. And maybe it also, I'm not sure I'm not sure if it'll blend with the theme of the story, the one theme of the story I'm about to tell you, a very personal story around my heart, around my love for my father. In meditation retreat once, we're like sleepaway camp where we're away for 5, 6, or 7 days at a time. The teacher guiding that retreat, her name is Mukti. she she's told stories of her father who was a devotee of Paramahansa Yogananda, the Self-Realization Fellowship ambassador who came to the United States, I'm not sure when, earlier in the 20th century. Anyhow, her father would drag her to meditations. I think they were a Catholic background, but he would drag her to these meditations but at this community when she was 10 years old, I think. And she has such sweet stories about that relationship and that care. And in my own process and the reflection and meditation time, uh, I was having some trouble just physically sitting. There was a pain in the middle back of my heart that was happening, and it was making it excruciating. It was really, really hard to sit still, and I'd try little adjustments. And we'd sit for sometimes 30 minutes at a time, sometimes 40 minutes at a time throughout the day. And then we were admonished by the meditation manager, our friend Patty Botari, who that she was noticing a lot of movement in the room, and that in addition to the silence, container of silence, what we held together was also to be still. And she suggested that when we shift and move, we dispel the energy that's building up in our being, and so don't get the full benefits of the meditation. And I wasn't sure if she could see my tiny movements, but I took it very personally that maybe she did. And I was angry. I was angry for thinking, well, she doesn't know what the pain in my body is like. I need to shift. But I took that guidance to heart. I took the guidance to heart in terms of I had always heard we should be silent, but the stillness, I had usually heard, take care of yourself. If your knee is hurting you, do something about that. And there's a balance. There's a balance between mm, the movement that is essential to keep us healthy and out of harm, and the movement that is nervous, that is just responding to boredom, that is almost unconscious, or that is swatting away a fly, the tickle. So to watch that and to um, choose to allow ourselves to be held still is truly part of the practice, balanced with that wisdom that might be needed uh, of moving when there's truly pain or to a joint that needs to be addressed. So the last part of the story is that in the following meditation, probably a 40-minute one, when the pain started arising, I opted not to choose consciously to not move, as if to let go, as if to let go into that which supports me. And it all happened in kind of it was probably momentary, but what flooded into me in this heart area of the body, and the middle heart was where the pain was this story of Mukti sharing her father, the love for her father, and my resentment that I didn't have exactly the kind of relationship that I want from my father. It was very fast images, like, what did I resent that I didn't get his love, or his was it his respect, or what was it? It was all flooding in, and in a flash, in that letting myself not do, not fix, not tweak, I began the message that came, and it came in synchrony with a an expansion of my rib cage that I don't know if I'd ever felt before, a relaxing, a lightening, and any of the pain that I had felt was gone. And the message that was coming along with that was that what matters and what I feel is the huge love that I have for my father, the love that's already here, that's never not here. And so we bring it back inside, we bring it back here. And that's what this meditation practice can help us with when we want to find fault with what's happening out there, or even in our relationships. That's something very intimate that we do have a part in. We can come back here and see the fullness that already is. It's a big gift. And so I like to begin our seat with a bell and a bow, and then we'll sit together for 12 minutes. So the first step is to make sure you're sensing the support that's available. The code word for this I use is ground. So our body, you may just adjust, take care of the movements here in the beginning if you haven't already. Whatever support is needed under your pelvis, under the legs, under the feet. that in turn supports the uprightness of the spine, the whole skeleton in our entire body. And to find this, there may be a scanning from all around us and through us of the sensors that feel ourselves right here in this gravitational field. This field that supports both the rooting down, and from that the buoyancy up, the levity up. This is a skill that is can grow as we pay attention to what's touching the ground and the rest of us, how it in little micro movements lines up in a relaxed way to fully be right here. And in this awareness of our body that might pop into our attention on and off through the sit, and possibly a lot of the time, we can invite that support balanced with relaxation over and over. Relaxed through the shoulders, relaxed through the jaw, relaxed around and above the eyes. And there are two more code words that I often use. One of them is breath, pointers and code words. And so we include or even use the breath to observe as an anchor, to bring us back from perhaps drifting off into tangents in the mind. When we notice, we might simply come back to breath, to ground. And if you find yourself thought heavy, that the mind storms are going, a little tool you can use is come back to follow with your gentle attention 3 full breaths. And the final word that helps me come back to the truth of presence is sound. Sound. Notice how tuning into sound, what that might have engendered, changed in your experience as you welcome the sounds in your space. Hear the flow of heat can be heard in the vents, the snores of my tiny dog, the quiet of the ice outside, the touch of the temperature of the room. So sound is like code word for space around and how we sense the outer to the inner, the inner to the outer. And you may find this pointer of sound very rich sign indeed. Come to your silence and your stillness. Simply sensing what is right here now. Even as stories and circumstances and situations all are ever changing, many unknown before us. We can fully, truly be right here. We can open into the fullness that is here for us. that love that is ever present. To close our practice, we bring the left and right palms together in front of the heart, two very different entities, left and right, but can coexist here in the wholeness. And bowing, I invite you to feel just whatever wholeness or partiality or messages you feel that could be of gratitude, could be of a more peaceful mind, could be I could have done better in that meditation, whatever it is, and if possible, welcome it fully. And if not, there's no fighting that. There's what did Mukti tell us? Another Mukti story. It's not that someone had told her once that how how good she is at accepting what is, and her response was something like, um, "Well, it's not a matter of accepting it; it just is." Very Zen. Thank you. Hope to see you here next week. And thank you for all of you who come to visit the recording. Ciao, ciao.